Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week of October 4th. We are just going to jump right in here, Taurus, and we are going to see what is going on for you at this time. I feel pretty good about this card here, this By the Book card. It's one of those cards in this deck, the Wisdom of the Oracle, where I kind of go back and forth on it. Sometimes I think it's a good thing. Sometimes I think it's a bad thing. And just intuitively, I feel that it is going to be good for you this week. I feel it's just saying like things are going to be going according to plan. And things are going to be going well for you. So I like to see that. I have words popping into my head as well. The words that are popping into my head are, why would this be any different? So I don't know if that makes sense to someone out there, but popped into my head like right away. So definitely, again, there seems to be this kind of energy of needing to trust the evidence this week in the readings. And I even titled the Pisces reading, Trust the Evidence, or something like that. Or I don't remember what I said, but doesn't matter. Again, Pisces was the first reading I did. And then, I've made it all the way to Taurus so far. And it just seems like one of those weeks where we kind of need to just accept what's right in front of us and work with what we got and, kind of go from there. You have this By the Book card here. So I do feel, again, I put this card down immediately. I felt like it was the kind of more positive side of things. And I feel like it's just saying that things are going to go according to plan for you this week. Yeah, I feel like it would be safe for you to push it a little bit as well. You have this Come to the Edge card. This card, to me, reminds me of kind of like pushing yourself past the point where you normally would quit or give up on something and going just like a little bit further here. I always say, like, to me, this card reminds me of like lifting weights. As I always say, if you were to just lift this pen, you might get like a little bit of muscle, but if you just kept lifting this pen, you wouldn't get any bigger muscles, right? So it's like we need to kind of like keep growing our muscles, and this card kind of reminds me of that. And by muscles, I don't mean muscles. It could be actually for some of you, but I mean like our love muscle, our work business muscle, our spiritual muscle, pretty much everything. So I would push yourself just a little bit farther here. You have the Six of Cups, the Nine of Swords, and the Page of Wands here. Again, I would get out of this energy right here with the Nine of Swords. Not a bad energy necessarily, but I always say this card to me reminds me of like, do you want to be the bug or the windshield? It's like there's a person down here in this carving that is on their back. There's another person with a sword over them. It's going to be really hard to see on this camera, but what I would say here is it kind of like says, do you want to, kind of stay stuck in a nightmare, or do you want to do something to change it? Nine of Swords is temporary. It reminds us that whatever we're going through is temporary. So I feel like you need to realize that. I really do feel, again, a major theme of this reading here, I feel like is growing a muscle. And, pick whatever muscle you want to grow. Do you want to get better in love? Then I would focus on growing your love muscle. And, if you want to get better in business, same thing. People always ask me, how do you grow your love muscle? Well, I'd say learn, number one. I would say, number two, I would learn from people who have successful relationships. There are plenty of people on YouTube that do have successful relationships, number one. I would be careful of the ones that have been divorced like 26 times. People always say to me, they're like, well, maybe that person has good advice. I'd say yes and no. I would just go straight to what works. I wouldn't people, I think people try to overcomplicate things. And again, there are plenty of, relationship coaches not in relationships, probably bad advice, right? It's like I always tell people, follow success, plain and simple. I'm not saying those people aren't of value or anything like that. But to me, I go straight for success, right? And that's what I would do here. I would say find someone who has a successful relationship, someone who has the type of relationship you want. And that's what I would learn from. Same thing in business. I would follow a person who has like the type of business or who has the type of career success that you want. And I would kind of like follow their advice is what I would say here. The Page of Wands, I mean, it's like one of those things, I feel like maybe fortunately and unfortunately, the thing with the energy that we're dealing with right now, as well, is if we want to grow, especially in career and business, it's like fortune favors the bold, right now. It's like people who are like more, I hate to say it because I feel like this is going to come out of my mouth wrong, Taurus, but what I would say is the people who are assertive, the people who are constantly learning, the people that are constantly improving are going to be the ones that grow in career. And I think this could be unfortunate because it's a grind, right? It's like a grind fest in the career world right now. I feel like there's like, that could be a little unfortunate, but I feel like the fortunate side of things is that it could be pushing people to kind of like do things that they truly want to do, which might not be a career. Let's see here. With the Six of Cups, you have the Five of Swords here. I didn't really talk about the Six of Cups, and I do feel like the Six of Cups is more talking about nostalgia, like the way things used to be. And I kind of really get the feeling here in this first row that there is this energy that says things cannot be the way they were. Again, if you're lifting the way this, just simplifying this reading, making it very uncomplicated, I would just say the whole entire reading is saying you're lifting weights. It's like, obviously, if you're lifting a bigger weight, that's going to be harder, but a lot different than what you were lifting in the past, right? So, it's like, yeah, there's more work, but it's probably going to lead to more success. For a lot of you, I feel like there's a very cut and dry toxic situation that you need to remove yourself from here as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be a person, but the devil says you're like a lot more free than you realize. I always say that, he has these people, they have chains around their necks, but the chains are meant to look loose, and they're meant to look like they could just pick the chain up off of their head and they could just walk forward here. And again, I feel like your answer is to lift heavier weights in whatever it is that you're doing. And again, I know that sounds hard, but it's not. I mean, if you want better love, read a good love book. If you want, better business, same thing. With the Page of Wands, you have the High Priestess here. This could be a Pisces coming in for some of you. I feel like you get Pisces a lot in your readings here. Very mysterious energy with the High Priestess. I would trust your intuition as well here in this part of the reading. I would also say that clearly, whenever you get the High Priestess with the Ace of Pentacles here, to me this really represents potential. The High Priestess, she represents potential because she can represent something that's entering into your awareness. You become aware, of an opportunity here. So I feel like you are becoming aware of an opportunity. Usually with the High Priestess, is like we're not sure exactly what this opportunity is going to require, especially if it's like work, career, business. The High Priestess can represent an opportunity where we're going to have to learn. We're going to have to push ourselves farther than we've ever gone before. But if you do that, could be some sort of dream coming in for you with the Knight of Cups. Next, you have this Purity card here. I don't know, a bunch of people have had this card this week, this Purity energy. So I would keep it pure. I'd keep it clean this week. I would make sure no toxic anything with the Devil this week as well. But that's what I would say there. You have the Page of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and the Ace of Pentacles. Definitely could be a love offer coming in for you here with this energy. I kind of get like a weird energy off of this King of Cups. I'm not going to lie to you here, Taurus, with the King of Cups energy. And again, this could be any gender, whatever gender you're attracted to. I feel like this is the type of person you're attracting. I almost get like a very kind of like dreamy energy on one side, a very more like more focused energy on the other side. Let's put it that way. It's almost like one person, I feel like, buys into the fantasy of relationships very easily. The other person, I feel like, is going in a direction, meaning like they want marriage or they want family or they want, like I feel like they have it's like someone in this connection, whether it's you or this person, like has a very direct kind of path that they want to go on here. I don't necessarily think it's a problem, but, if this is a new person that you're meeting, whenever I get energy like that, I always say, I would be very clear up front. Sometimes I think we get into trouble, right, when we get into relationships and people are like, I don't want to get married, and then when they don't want to marry you, you get upset when they said they didn't want to get married. So I would be very, very clear up front with the person, and I would take what they say as the truth. Like, if they say they don't want kids, they're not going to change. I think we get into these relationships where like, oh, they'll change their mind, and it's like 10 years later and they don't. So, what I would say here is I would take someone at face value is what I'm getting here. And I feel like one person needs to be more realistic. Not a bad thing. Again, if you can be realistic about it, and then, I feel like things will be fine. Maybe you both find out you both want the same thing, right? For the rest of you as well, I kind of feel like this is some sort of opportunity that you're going to be taking advantage of with this Ace of Pentacles. I feel like there could be a very solid like work or business opportunity. For some of you, I feel like this is something you've been working on for a while. I feel like you've almost been looking at something like too much. It's like, that I wouldn't really call it, I'm not really feeling analysis paralysis here, Taurus, but Sometimes I think if we're working on a project or writing a book or whatever we're doing, it's almost like we could be like we've been looking at it so much that we can't tell if it's good, if it's bad, if it needs more work. So for some of you, I do feel like this could be like another person that you're bringing into a project here. Not to like work with you necessarily, but maybe you have a friend or a spouse or something, or just a friend, a child even, that could look at a project that you've been working on. And I feel like they can say like, this is good, this is bad, or they can at least give you some direction. So I kind of get like this energy of guidance here in this middle row. Let's see. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Two of Pentacles here. I like, in a lot of ways, I feel like this is, the words that are popping into my head is, this is what you have learned. The Two of Pentacles, we could say that this, the waves start small and they get bigger, but we could say that he has learned, on the positive side of things, he has learned how to deal with the waves of life. He has learned to kind of go with the flow. If a boat doesn't go with the flow in, big waves like that, it's going to crash. But if it kind of aims into the waves and goes up and over, then the boat's going to be perfectly fine. It will survive the storm, right? So I get that feeling for you here, where I don't know why this is important, but it's popping into my head. Maybe you've learned how to kind of survive those ups and downs and everything like that. King of Cups, very much so. He's sitting in choppy waters, and he has learned how to like deal with his emotions. So for whatever reason, that's important. With the King of Cups, you have the Knight of Cups, Knight of Cups, Knight of Cups right here. So clearly, there could be a Knight in Shining Armor coming in for you. It could also be a Capricorn as well. It could be any sign. This is just a general reading. Could be a fire sign. You have Earth here. You have basically everything. The reason I say Pisces is you do have Pisces twice, three times actually, showing up in this reading. So let's see here, Taurus. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Two of Wands here. Yeah, I always get this feeling for you, Taurus, where it's like you're going to have to do something you've never done before, exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the reading. And I feel like you need to do this right here. We're just going to jump forward. You have to act as if you already have something. You have to act as if you already are something with this energy. So I really feel this kind of like act as if energy is going to be very, very important for you here, Taurus, with this Chameleon Spirit card. So anything you want, I feel like you just need to kind of like embrace the energy here. I feel like I said something to you about this in your third quarter reading. I'll try to remember to link that third quarter reading down below. But I was talking all about how I think I told you a story. I think I said if you've ever like heard someone talking on the phone that sounds different. Like, have you ever heard someone answer the phone and you're like, who the hell are you? Because it's like they changed their voice. They sound totally different. It's like that's the energy I get here. I'm not saying you do that, but what I am saying is like I feel like your true self needs to come out. And again, I'm pretty sure I said the same thing to you in your fourth quarter reading. So that's what I would be doing here. I would be kind of like stepping into that energy of like what you want to be. The Knight of Cups is a dream. It could be a Knight in Shining Armor, but it could also be looking into that cup, and he is like dreaming of what his dream life looks like, what his future life looks like. So, I feel for a lot of you, you just need to start acting as if you already are that thing that you want. You have the Ace of Cups here as well. That could be the cup, the thing that is going to cause your emotions to overflow. I always say to people, like, how many times have you seen a person at work or in business or in love where you're like, how do they have that and I don't, right? It's like, how many times have you seen someone that's way underqualified get something that's better than you, right? And, this happens a lot. Same thing in business. It's like, how many times, if you have a business, how many times have you seen a person where you're like, this person, has mustard stains all over the shirt. How the hell are they this successful in business? And what I would say here is it's probably because it has nothing to do with any of that. It probably has to do with the fact that they see themselves a certain way. And I feel like this row is saying you just simply need to see yourself as having what you already want. You do have this Hangman card here, so again, I do feel like you've gained a lot of wisdom as to like the changes you need to make. Definitely, could be a water sign, Pisces, coming in for you, making a love offer. I would say probably like in the future. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Six of Swords. Moving on to calmer shores. Again, the whole entire reading, there's tons of imagery that says that you're kind of coming out of this choppy time, which we already talked about. Two of Pentacles, King of Cups here. Clearly, you're being guided towards, kind of calmer shores. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Nine of Pentacles here. Very single, like independent energy. I do feel like it's saying you're independent at this time. You're kind of like perfectly fine on your own. But you could be, Nine of Pentacles also says you could be getting ready to start exchanging some energy. She has 6 Pentacles on this side, 3 Pentacles on this side. It kind of says like, yeah, she is independent, but maybe she has reached a point where she's willing to give 3 Pentacles worth of energy to something. That is including love. She's keeping enough for herself. She's keeping 6 Pentacles of energy for herself, and she's willing to give 3. So I feel for some of you, it's like saying maybe you're getting to this place where you're willing to open up to a new relationship. And with the Hangman here, you have the 2 Cups. I would say if you're attracting love, this is a very good love reading for sure. So if you're looking for love, there could be new love coming in for you here. If you're not looking for love, then everything we talked about over here, again, you like look at this reading as saying you need to lift weights in some area of your life. You need to strengthen things. And again, it doesn't have to be that difficult. It could be very easy. It could be just reading a book, watching a video, whatever. Just anything to exercise your brain, right? And that's what I feel like you need to do here. For others, I think your third answer from this reading is the 2 of Cups. Again, even outside of love, the 2 of Cups can just represent communication. And like I was saying earlier, it's almost like there could be a person. If you've been looking at something too long, if you've been looking at something too much, if you're like analyzing something too deeply, then I would say like a second pair of eyes could just be a friend, just a person you meet on the street. I don't care. Just getting someone to look at something, because I feel like you've been it's almost like, again, the vibes that I get off this reading are you've been looking at something too long. So pretty simple reading. 3 of Wands, just needing to stop waiting for the perfect moment, right? But Taurus looks pretty good. So we're going to do 3 yes or no question cards here. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3. If you don't have questions, that's fine as well. I'm just going to put all 3 together at the end, but 1, 2, and 3. So for question number 1, you have the 7 of Cups. I would say yes if you can focus. I should really call this yes, no, maybe, because tarot to me isn't really a hard yes or a hard no. Sometimes it says like yes if you focus. So I would say for question number 1, if you make something your focus and you get rid of all the excess, then yes. For question number 2, I would say yes. 2 of Cups, again, showing up here. So I would say yes, but I feel like this is very important for communication, like we already said right here. But I would say yes. And for question number 3, I would say yes. Look at this, High Priestess again. This is a crazy reading. You had the High Priestess right here. Definitely could be a Pisces, clearly, coming in for you here. It could be any sign. Like I said, could be someone who has a lot of Pisces in their chart. But it is what it is here with this energy. I always get comments from people who are always like, you're trying to make it Pisces, you're trying to make it Scorpio. I'm like, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 Pisces cards here again. So it's like, I'm not trying to make it fit in any way, just so you know. And also, tarot doesn't control your life. You can date whatever sign you want, but it is what it is. I mean, it's showing up as a Pisces. Could be any sign. For others, I feel like this is something that has a lot of potential. I kind of would see this right here as you needing to talk yourself into doing something that you need to do. I can't get over this energy for you, Taurus, where for like a while now, I feel like some of you, it's like you're putting yourself out into the world. But, I feel like you need to almost be more like bold, more assertive. I would, again, if you're doing something like maybe you're giving presentations, maybe you want to be on YouTube, maybe you're writing a book or something, you're the only sign. Actually, Pisces does get this sign, this energy quite a bit as well. So it's like you and Pisces always get this energy of like presenting or putting something out there, right? Maybe you're becoming an actor. You have the act as if card. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. But I feel like the thing that will help you the most is to just, to be bold. I really feel like, the thing that'll probably help you the most is exposure therapy. Again, if it's like if you're being on camera, it is weird being on camera. The only way to get better is to get used to it, is to keep doing it. So I feel like for a lot of you, it's like, there's something you want. I feel like you need to expose yourself to it as much as possible so that you can desensitize yourself, to whatever. I don't know, weird, but I like it at the same time. So thank you for being here, Taurus. Pretty simple. Make sure, I'm going to put a link to the third quarter, the fourth quarter. I keep wanting to say third quarter reading. I'm going to put a link to fourth quarter reading up here somewhere, so make sure to check that out, because again, it's very similar to this energy. So thank you for watching, Taurus. Really appreciate it, and definitely enjoy your week.